ways, he is starting to act just like Hitler. I mean, let's look back at the Ottoman, uh, the genocide back in World War One.
Yeah.
This would have been right about the time that they would have started moving this. Actually, this one in Rome was built around that time. It was inaugurated in 1911. It was completed in 1925. Right in the
Right.
midst of that would have been the time of the Ottoman, well, let's just look at it for what it is, the Caliphate, killing
Yeah.
Christians. And then, so we've got, in the First World War, we've got uh, a Hitler-type figure, the Caliph, would have been killing Christians and well, Greeks, Christians, and Jews. Okay, in
Yeah.
World War II, we had Hitler who was killing the Jews, and in World War III, we know who this third Hitler type creature is going to be going after. He's going to be going after Christians and
And
Jews.
and remember this: the Christians are going to be beheaded, and that's the favorite
Absolutely.
punishment of the Muslims against
It is.
infidels.
It truly is. But and I'm going to send you this information after the broadcast, but I want you to look at this Altare della Patria and some of these other pictures. This is
Right.
located in Rome. If you look at it where it is, if you look at the picture, there is a circle, a river. I think it's a river. If you look at the location on just Wikipedia, it looks just like a circle with a line coming through it, and right in the very center of it is this
Gotta see
Altare
that.
della Patria.
Send me that link. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and I'll Skype it to you right now. It might
Okay,
just be me looking at it and thinking, wow, this you know how it is. You start looking at things and everything starts looking the same after a while.
You read the same scripture years apart, and it'll have new, deeper meanings for you, or even changed meanings.
Well,
It's
the Word of
because-
God is like an onion because it's just deeper and deeper and deeper, and
Yeah,
you peel it back
yeah.
layer at a time. But there's the link. I just sent it to you.
All right.
Take a
just
look at
second.
that.
I'm just pulling that off here. I think that gives it to me.
And if you
Yes,
look
it
at
does.
look
Yes,
at
it
the
does.
map, the location in Rome, and it shows the map. I want you to look at that.
Oh yeah, I see that. What is that?
Is that a road? Is that a beltway? What is? I don't know. But
Well,
what
there
we
is
need,
a river between the Vatican and the Seven Hills of the original Roman thing.
right? Well,
I can't
understand-
tell actually.
Well,
That's
if we see we're talking about the Greek and Roman gods, we're actually the same gods by different name because of Babel. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we see this whole thing in one area, we should be able to go to a lot of major cities, say DC, and see this same circle. Like all these cities have a beltway, all these cities have a cinder island raised on Diaz, whether it's the monument, Washington, or whatever it is, in the center. If you look at it, actually, what is it? One of those. What's that lake? Forrest Gump was in it. Remember, he was in that water. What is that? Is that the congressional? The water's right there.
the
It goes-
fountain of something or other, was it?
it's a straight line going into a circle, like you talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well-
as you say all these things that I've looked at over the past years, I didn't know why I was looking at them. I trust God that He's got me looking at for something, and you're putting pieces together for me.
Well, we all are. We're all giving pieces of the end times puzzle of the world and the ancient times, to which tell us what's going to happen now.
That's exactly right, and because and I think that's what's being revealed to those who listen to the Lord, who are trusting Him and listening in their spirit, because the Lord's going to lead us to be able to understand and put these puzzle pieces together to form that big picture.
Yeah, yeah. On Atlantis thing here, I didn't remember I had slides to illustrate this, but slides 16 and 17 show you the unique position under this island called Dammam, Dammam, and it's aquifers of it's called the Dammam Dome Aquifer. It's right underneath where I found Poseidon's Island. That's where it is, and this is the official, stratigraphy of the area. And
Brother,
slide
I'm going to freak you out. About 4 years ago, I was telling a brother of mine, I don't know why the Lord's putting Bahrain on my mind. My wife will bear witness to it. I had no idea, didn't even know what Bahrain was.
Well, now, Bahrain it's about 15 miles off the shore of what was Poseidon's Island. And recently they found an altar in the north part of Bahrain. And it's a very ancient altar going back to just after the flood times. And they found, and this is an interesting clue, they found columns of stone in this temple that has been destroyed by time and occupying forces. But they say that these were coated with copper. The stone columns are coated with copper. Remember how in Plato's discussion of Atlantis, the three rings are around Poseidon's center island, where he and Cleopatra lived.
Right.
The outer one was bronze, the next one was tin, and the third one up close to them, the most rare of all, was orichalcum. And people for years, scholars have been trying to figure out what the heck that precious metal was, because it glistened red in the sunlight. I found it. I know exactly what it is and what the ratio of its mixture is. It's an alloy formed in nature, and it's mined. It's been mined for over 3,000, maybe 4,000 years, they can prove, in western Saudi Arabia, inland from Jeddah, and it's at a mine called the Mad ad-Dahab mine. And when they mine gold there, the veins contain copper, iron, lead, and zinc sulfide. Okay, now there is an alloy made today which withstands erosion and corrosion by seawater and that kind of stuff. It's a very good red brass bronze. It's called alloy number C23000. If you click on that picture, you can see it. And at the bottom line of that, it says it's 85% copper, 5% tin, 5% lead, and 5% zinc. It has electrical properties. It has poisonous properties with lead. It has copper, which is very malleable, and so is lead, and tin to a degree. So all of its factors.
Does it have a radioactivity to it? Like most metals do.
I don't know. I didn't check that in that. But anyway, that mine is the oldest mine probably in the world for a gold mine and all the other copper and other things. But there it tells you right there what the mixture of it is.
Are we actually looking at Ophir? Solomon's Ophir?
Now, people tried to say that was one of Solomon's mines. He may have gotten gold there, but he got gold in Karnataka, India. He got gold in the Morocco. He traded for it there, and he got gold in the island of Madagascar on the east side in the bay there. That gold was the one they spoke of as the grains or the sand of the rivers, because it all washes down from the mountains, the granite mountains around there. And to this day, people, the French and the Chinese are mining gold using children panning for gold because it's so plentiful there. That was the fine gold of Solomon's treasure.
Right.
Now, he may have gotten gold elsewhere, but those are the three sites mentioned. And surely it was between Israel and Madagascar.
He just didn't mine for gold, though. He mined for other metals plus precious stones, lapis lazuli and some others. So maybe
you would have gotten some of those over in Tanzania, the Garden of Eden area.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
There are so many volcanoes.
That makes sense where lapis lazuli would be, right there at Eden.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm going to explain. If you look at slide 18, it's time to take you to where, the aerial photograph of what was Poseidon's Island. Today it's called Damam, and the sea level has dropped, after the flood and all the tilting of the landmass there. But I've done the sea, depth there. I've done the land depth, and I've calculated plots of depth all around there, looking for the seaport, and I found the seaport for deep water. Everything that Plato described is there, and it centers around these circles. And if you get on Google Earth and go to this, it's and Bahrain is down to the lower left there. You can see how close they are.
Right.
It fits exactly. I mean, it's not close. It is exact. The dimensions, when you convert them from stadia to miles, it is exact.
Wow.
And you're looking at what was Poseidon's capital island.
Something.
And this, where these little circles all come together there, right in the middle of that is where Aramco has its major oil storage tanks in the area, in addition to Ras Tanura, which is another port that's very close to there on the southern side of that circle. In the close of World War II, Saudi Arabia could not pay its overseas debts to anybody. It was a poverty-stricken country just at the end of World War II. Some American geologists went over and started drilling wells right in the middle of these circles I'm telling you about, right in the very circle in the center. They drilled 6 of them and hit water every time, which is no surprise because we know that the dome is under there.
Right.
Then they dug down a few thousand feet with the 7th well, and they hit a gusher. that was the beginning of the oil expansion of Saudi Arabia. The sheikh said, "I'll take 50,000 in gold and let you, have this mining right here and drilling right and take that oil away and do whatever you're going to do with it." Time passed. The Arabs realized they were getting done here, so they said, "Right, you can't keep doing it unless we get half of the proceeds." So finally, Aramco was formed, the Arab American Oil Company, and they gave them half interest. But what is interesting is that they started the rise of the power of Saudi Arabia with the demise of Poseidon, right where his temple was.
Well, and isn't it something that Nixon came around and the gold standard changed and went off the gold standard and started dealing with Saudi Arabia in U.S. currency, which put the U.S. actually what the United States did at that point was trade. They started trading in black gold. You see this, right? There was yellow gold. The United States said, "Okay, we'll give you all the military protection and weapons you want, as long as you will only deal this oil in American dollars." So the United States went off the gold standard and went on to the black gold standard.
The petrodollar. Yep.
So
now, this is interesting too. The Saudi Arabians, young Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has been over 2 or 3 times here in the last few months to the Obama administration and to the Clintons, making little private meetings with them about something. At the same time, at the end of last year, he came out and made this grand sweeping plan for how he's going to remodel the economy and the culture of Saudi Arabia. He's going to turn it more toward not so strict Sharia law. He's going to start selling minerals and gold. And he's made a deal with the Sudan to mine off the shore of Jeddah there, where the old mine was, to mine the seabed. And they've got, I forget how many thousand tons of gold they've got there. But they've called it there are 2 projects. They've called the first one Atlantis 1 and the next one Atlantis 2. Now then, over on the Persian Gulf side of Saudi Arabia, just down the block from where Dammam Island is, they've got the Atlantis Resort. Now, somebody knows something in the royal family.
Absolutely.
And now the reason that this is interesting, that he's shifting and going toward other types of economy, he's investing in other things. He's actually put 2 to 5% of the Aramco shares, which was their even-steven ownership of Aramco. He's put that on the block to sell to nations for, $1 trillion or something, maybe 2, I'm not sure. And he's selling off that, which makes him lose control if the United States has still the 50% majority. So why would he be doing that? Well, I read a report, which I put back in one of these pages here. I think if you back up one arrow to this page here, let me see where I've got that. Yeah. You'll see where on the show images page where we clicked from originally, where it has the picture of Atlantis there in the middle. To the right of it is a graph with a bunch of multicolors in it.
That's it.
Okay, if you get that and read that, and it won't be but about, it'll be down where that graph is, about halfway down the page. Listen to what the Citigroup study says about Saudi Arabia in August of 2015. Saudi Arabia may actually run out of oil by the year 2030. Furthermore, a recent WikiLeaks revelation cited a warning from a senior Saudi government oil executive telling that the kingdom's crude oil reserves may have been overstated by as much as 300 billion barrels, or by 40%. They are not letting foreigners come into this and do the analysis of the oil reserves they have for the global, oil reserve, report that the United Nations gives. They're only letting the Arabians come in, and they will tell you how much oil is in their fields. So this tells you they're running out of oil.
And they're making it look like there's a glut.
Yeah.
That is genius, as a matter of fact. But there's more to it with this guy, isn't there?
Well, Mohammed bin Salman is.
Well,
he's a Solomon.
Did you say his name's bin Solomon, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad, son of Solomon.
Yeah, well, there were 2 Solomons. There was the Israeli Solomon, King Solomon, and his name in Hebrew was Shlomo, not Solomon, Shlomo. Right. And if you look, his mother was married to a Hittite, and they, worship gods that were not the Israeli gods. What's the nation? Anyway, King Solomon, Shalmaneser I, was the one that formed this whole empire. And he was, the Shalman was the part that got combined with these